What's going on, guys? So, I think I'm going to make this video in regards to what I do as far as like an actual job. I've actually had a few people comment and DM me and say, hey man, what do you do for a living? And I see a lot of people posting stuff, and a lot of you guys seem to like it. My life is a lot more boring now that I'm in management, but I'll give you a little secret, tell you a little story. So I've been in the industry for probably like going on 16 years now. I started working at Chevron Refinery as a, I can't remember what it's called, VOC Tech, monitored volatile organic compounds for a company called Team Industrial. That was my first ever like refinery, straight up like serious job. After that, I did a little bit of boiler making, worked for a union for a little while just as a permanent worker, and then kind of slowly just got into the shipyards. I hadn't traveled yet. Worked at the shipyard, learned how to fit. I was a ship fitter, tacker, which is like a ship tacker or helper. Fit. Slowly got into structural weld, learned how to stick, flux core and MIG. And then I eventually moved into a pipe shop for Zachary. Was there for like a year and a half, learned how to weld pipe, TIG weld pipe. I already kind of knew how to MIG and flux core and all that stuff. So I started there as an overhead crane operator at Zachary. This is the difference between structural and pipe. I actually made more running an overhead crane in a fab shop than I did as a structural fitter and a structural welder at the shipyard. So I went to that shop. I think I was an overhead crane operator for probably 6 to 8 months. Worked really hard, you know, kind of made a name for myself there. Was very ambitious. Practiced welding anytime I could. Lunch. If we was working late, you know, I'd run the overhead crane, so I was stacking people up with pipe and stuff, and I'd always make sure that they had everything they needed. So the last, 2 hours, I could basically have them set up and I could just weld. So I made real good friends with all the welders out there. There was a lot of great welders, a lot of great guys that I still respect and talk to today. So they taught me a lot. I learned a lot, and it was just being behind the shield and turning and burning, honestly. Just running that TIG rig. It only took me about, I'd say like 2 months, maybe 3, if that. So at this point now, I'm probably, I'd say like 10 months in, maybe 11, maybe a little less than that, I don't know. And now I've done past my TIG test that allow me to be a tacker. So I go from overhead crane operator to a tacker. I'm tack welding pipe, learning how to fit pipe. I'm working with a pipe fitter. I do that for probably another 3 months. Like I said, I'm very ambitious at this point. So I do that for 3 months, and anytime I'm not fitting or tacking or helping the fitter, I'm practicing, I'm welding on coupons, all that stuff. So by 2016 into 2017, I'm a single hand welder. I'm on the assembly line. I'm welding pipe all day long. Small bore pipe, normally like 6 inches is about as big as they let you weld. Normally 4 inch or smaller. Socket weld, stainless. At this point, I've learned how to weld Inconel, Monel, Hastelloy, chrome, carbon, stainless, pretty much everything, man. That shop was getting a little bit of everything in there. Everything from socket welds, OLETs, just every type of thing you can think of. Shoes, we did a little structural welding here and there for some supports, handrails, things like that. I left there, pay issue. Unfortunately, that company didn't want to move me up and pay me what at the time I thought was fair, which was kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time. I was young and dumb and kind of ran my mouth, got the old welder mentality, I guess, too early, got a little too big for my britches. Started running that mouth, and needless to say, it ended up getting me fired. So yeah, so I went on the road with Performance, and it was history after that. I went on the road. Now keep in mind, also being ambitious, in 2016 into 2017, I also went with Real Education, and I got my CWI, and then also acquired some safety certs as well back then. I already had that. I knew how to read ISOs, learned a lot of the basic stuff. Went into the field. I've worked everywhere from Pennsylvania, Indiana, California, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, all through the Carolinas, and I've worked for multiple companies. Guys, I've had 14 W-2s in 1 year. I was just young and dumb. I didn't have a lot of bills. I was running the roads. If I didn't like a job, I would drag up. I'd be there a month, 2 months. There's times where I would hire in and get out on the job site and be like, yeah, this ain't for me, I'm out. But despite having a bad attitude, and I had no family. In this industry, family's big, man. You'll realize, having a last name, buddy system, family, it makes a difference. It really does. It's a sad truth. But I have 2 other people besides me that I claim as family, or that I have family, and that's my mom and my brother. I'm the only one in this industry. No one else in my family's ever been a pipe welder in the industrial field. My family kind of comes from, I guess you could say, truck drivers on my father's side. So I'm the only one that built the blueprint in this industry. I've helped my brother get multiple jobs. He's worked as a helper here and there. He's still on his way learning how to fit pipe. So the last 4 or 5 years, I've kind of rotated a lot. I went from, I've went all the way up to superintendent and project management. I worked with companies like Crowder, Performance, and I'm with GA West now. Every company's got their good and bad. I've been sticking it with GA West for 15 years on and off. I've jumped back and forth with them since I was pretty much a helper all the way up to supervision. So I've been in quality control, didn't really care for it. Production management, superintendent, foreman, GF. Really wasn't my thing, to the point where I would play dumb. I just prefer to be, under my shield at that time. The last few years before I become back as a safety man, as stupid as it sounds, my foremans and supervision would be like, how to read draws? I'm like, no. I'd play dumb. If it didn't involve welding, I didn't want to weld. Do anything else. I wanted to weld. So, anyway, the last 2 years, I left supervision. I was on my tool. Well, I was in supervision, worked on my tools again for 2 years. Welding pipe. I went from a local shop with Performance on the road, back and forth. Traveled with a little buddy there for a little while, and I just got fed up, man. We were, right during the holidays, they put us on a job working 410s, no per diem, an hour from the house, having to drive an hour back and forth. They were going to be off 1 week for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks for Christmas. Money was tight. When you're in this industry, unfortunately, if you're not responsible, you can accumulate a lot of bills very fast. A lot of guys do that and they get themselves in a bind. That was kind of me. Not really. I have other sources of income that I'm blessed to have, thank God. We're not going to get into all that, but I just kind of wanted to talk about what I do as my daily 9-to-5 job, I guess. So for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been lucky enough to be home. So this was 2 years ago, 2022 going into 2023. So this was November of 2022. We went to this chemical plant. We lost a couple dollars in pay, lost per diem, and wasn't making any hours. I was stressing. So a friend of mine called me and was looking for safety people, making more an hour per diem, and we were working plenty of hours. I'm talking 7 days a week, 12 hours, 10 hours, whatever you wanted, pretty much. So I took it. I got back into safety. Now keep in mind, I'd only been a safety supervisor or coordinator a couple times with my safety certs. Just like with CWI, I've only been on a couple jobs with CWI. It just wasn't my forte, man. It's just not something I want to do. It is what it is. Is it better money? Yeah, but it's stressful, to me anyway, and it's not worth it. Anyway, so I've been in safety the last couple years. It's funny, a lot of people hate on safety, but I will say I get a lot more respect than most of the safety guys out here. Just about every job I go on, it's such a tight-knit group that I know everybody. Every time I go on these jobs, especially local, around home, I'm an hour and a half away from home right now in Pensacola, working at Ascend, but I still know people that are out here. I know a lot of the supervisors. I've been their boss, they've been my boss, we've worked together on our tools together, or something of that sort. So being on my tools and having the background I have is awesome, because they know how I work, they knew my work ethic, so it's a lot more respect. I see the difference between me and other safety people with my company when it comes to respect. I was in production, and when I was a supervisor in production, I didn't really play too much, man. You're going to do your job or you're going to go home. I don't care about names. I don't care who you are, what your last name is, who you know. None of that stuff's relevant to me. That's all BS. I've fired my own brother. I would fire my own mother. I don't care. If you're not fit for the job, I'm not putting you in that position. And if you're in that position and can't perform that job, I'm going to find somebody that can, or get rid of you, or something's going to happen. You're not going to make my job harder simply because you don't know what you're doing and you're my family member or my friend. I'll never understand that. I don't understand why supervisors will put themselves in a position like that to help out a friend, family, son, brother, sister, cousin, whatever, and they can't even do the job, and it makes your job twice as hard. Why y'all do that? Feel free to post in the comments, because I'll never understand it. So, but anyway, that's my 15-year stretch on what I do. Some of the common questions I get, and this is just from personal side, okay? Which one's better? Me, on a good job, safety. I enjoy knowing that what I do helps people go home safely. I can build 1 million plants. I can weld hundreds of miles of pipe. I can fit 100 miles of pipe. I don't care about none of that. That is irrelevant, genuinely. If you're going to be in this industry, you got to do something that you actually enjoy and you're passionate about, and I'm no longer passionate about any of it. I desire incomes in other realms now, but I enjoy safety and can tolerate safety. So safety is what I like. I like safety management. I'm in the manager position. I like to run a job, kind of work by myself, and set the tone across the board. I'm very professional. I get my point across very easily. I work well with the other managers, and we're going to be a team or something's going to happen. I'm not scared. I'm not job scared. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. You're going to work safe or you're just not going to be on my site. And some people watching this video, friends, family, people that work with me will probably be like, yeah, he's being serious. He doesn't play. In this field in management, man, it's going downhill. Just like anywhere else. It's hard to find good work. It's hard to find good hands that'll do good quality work. And that's what makes me happy that I'm not in the production side anymore. Because I'm the type that I'll work myself to the bone and get the job done. Even as a manager, I'll be out in the field working before I let you ride the clock and not get nothing done and make me look stupid or do a horrible job. I'm all about quality, man. Your weld is your resume. Every weld I've ever made in the field, overall, I've always been proud of. I've always pushed hard to make good welds, even when my supervisor's pushing me to butt it up, shut it up, weld it up, hurry up, get it done. No, I like to make good, beautiful welds that hold, that have a good root in them, full penetration, that look nice, that you can be proud of. Coming up, every welder is going to make that mistake. They're going to make those bad welds that they got to be shameful of and walk away and not be, 100% happy with, and hope that the x-ray man doesn't show up. But if you don't weld every weld like it's getting shot, you're going to get yourself in a bind. And a lot of welders can vouch for that. I know I know hundreds of welders. So a lot of great welders in this industry, a lot of great people in this industry, but overall there's a lot of people that aren't great. A lot of politicking, a lot of friends, and a lot of stuff are getting in this industry, but that's everywhere. And I just don't want no part of it anymore. So I'm in safety now. That'll probably be my last outlet. Next question is the pay. It's like $1 million question. It's okay, depending on your perspective. I had someone ask me, can you make over $200,000? Yes, but for the very lucky limited few that work 80 to 90 to 100 hours a week, work through holidays, work double, what they call double bubble, double time, hands like that, specialty hands, specialty crews, it's possible. But you're going to work your life away. You're not going to see your kids. You're not going to see your wife. You're not going to have a life. You're not celebrating birthdays. You're not drinking, partying. And if you are, God bless you. I don't know how you're doing that. It's to the bone, in the hotel. You're traveling on the road because you ain't making that kind of money at the house, so on and so forth. Now, in management, once you get a superintendent, project manager, safety manager, not coordinator, not tech, safety management, like safety manager, safety director, things like that, then yeah, you can make it well over 100,000. I think most average, I average normally between 140, 160 grand a year, and that is with a good bit of overtime too. I work a lot of overtime. Normally, I'd say probably 8 to 9 months out of the year, I dang near worked 12 days a week, or 12 hours a day and 7 days a week. So, just to kind of give a perspective, if you're at home working in a fab shop, working 5/10s, no per diem, even on my tools as like a pipe welder, I could probably clear anywhere between 60 to 80 grand. I've got helpers that work on the road. They make probably about $2,000 to $2,200 if it's a good job, like chemical plant, refinery, Exxon, Chevron, Shell, stuff like that. They probably make anywhere between $2,000 and $2,500 a week. So, you know, I mean, but that's working 7/12, 7 days a week at least, 7/10s. You're working a lot of hours. So you can make 8 to 10 grand a month, and that's not bad, man. Not really. As long as you're responsible with your bills and you're making over $80,000 to $100,000, even in the economy now, I feel like you can still live pretty decent if you're responsible with your money. The economy is getting worse, but I tell everybody all the time, and I'm gonna try to cut this short. I know I've been rambling. Guys, learn a trade, never depend on it. You know, when I was young and I started out welding and running the roads, I didn't care. It was fun. I had buddies with me. And then it got old real quick. I'm not a big drinker, not a big partier. They were, sadly, a lot of them guys weren't being faithful to their wives that had kids at home, and I'm just not with all that. I don't follow the hoes before bros code, none of that stuff. And it's a small town, small area where everybody knows everybody. And a lot of the guys that were dating and married to these girls were my friends when we were in high school and when we were kids. And it's just not something I vibe with. If they wasn't cheating, man, unfortunately, it was out partying. They didn't get home till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They were waking me up when they got to the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever, pissing me off. Even my own brother, man, he can tell you some stories. He likes to go out and drink. He used to. He's changed his ways now. And he woke me up pissing on the floor one morning. I'll have to get him on here for a part 2 and let him tell you that story. Pissed me off. And now per diem's not that great. You know, hotels, to get a nice hotel that's not rat infested or smells like weed every time you step outside, you're going to be paying $130, $140 a night. You find one for about $100 to $90 to $80 a night, it's okay, decent, not very clean, smells like weed 24/7 and packed with just all kind of trash, man. It's hard. So, you know, me being at home, I make more. My wife works, we're established at home, we have kids. We pay for childcare, so the moment that I go out of town, she has to pay more for childcare. Now I lose $500 to $700 because an average per diem is like $100 a day for most places. So we'll just go off that small percentage, right? If I work a minimum of 5 days a week, that's $2 grand a month. That's $500 a week, $2 grand a month that I lose immediately going on the road and staying in a hotel. So right off the bat, my wife loses money paying for a babysitter. So do I. She normally pays a babysitter, but we lose money with that. We're losing $2,000 a month, if not more, because when I go on the road, the per diem is more, and I'm generally working 7 days a week. So you could say 7 times 100, you know, times 4 and do the math. I'm losing all that money, so it's just better for me to stay home, and that's not always the case with this type of work. Me being in management and having multiple different search trades and skills has helped me out the last 5 years to be home. But even in that time, like recently, I went to South Carolina to cover for one of my safety guys for 2 weeks. Back in October, I went and covered for that same guy for a week in South Carolina. I don't mind. That's not bad. I don't mind going off for like a week or 2 here and there. But man, I'm a very present parent. I like coming home to my kids every night and seeing them every day. I like to see my wife every day. We're very close. That's my best friend. So me being on the road is just not my thing. I don't have guy friends. I don't have a lot of friends you see in these videos. You don't really see a whole lot of friends, me partying, hanging out with people. I'm a very just to myself type of person. So I keep to myself. I'm just a hard person to be friends with, I guess. I'm very motivated. I'm working on multiple different incomes. I like to create content and talk to you guys. So I'm starting to kind of scratch the surface with the content stuff. But I get a lot of questions about what I do. So like right now I'm at a plant. We're working 10 hours, 7 days a week, trying to finish up some stuff. I am the safety manager here, and it is good money, guys. I'm not saying don't go do it. I'm very biased on this stuff. But if you get into it, learn the trade, don't depend on it. Don't be afraid to go to school. Don't be afraid to get an education. If you're going to come in the field, you know, get your safety certs. Go to school for safety. Get your CWI, quality control. Go for engineering. You got mechanical engineering, different types of engineering degrees, chemical engineering. You work at like Chevron refinery plants or any refinery, really, chemical plant as a chemical engineer. If you're going to get into this field, and I'm sure the older cats will vouch for me on this one, it's pipe welding, pipe fitting, being an electrician, being on your tools, an iron worker, and all that stuff is cool until it's not. No one thinks it's cool when you're 45 to 60 years old, still doing this, working hard on your tools as a broken down man or woman. It's not fun anymore. You don't want to be in that place where you're rethinking your life. Where did I go wrong? Why don't I have money? Working until you're 65, 70 years old. You know, unions have decent benefits, retirement, 401k, you know, all the perks. But majority of the people that work in the field we don't take advantage of that stuff, man. Insurance is expensive. 401k is a hoax. I don't care what you say, it is. If you know anything about trading or the outside world, you'll realize 401ks are a hoax. They're not worth what you put in. What else? You know, the benefits and stuff, they're decent. I mean, they'll get you by when you retire, but I couldn't imagine going where I'm making 10, 12, 15, sometimes 18 to 20 grand a month, and then go down to making 2,500 a month when I retire, off retirement. That seems to be about the average, guys. When you retire in this field after making, you know, we'll just say over $100,000 a year, every year for 30 years, you know, the average seems to, it's kind of a big gap, but it normally fluctuates. Most people I know make between $2,500 and $4,000. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now, if you got a chemical engineering degree and you're doing different stuff, that's different. But I'm talking about tradesmen that are just on their tools that I know that have retired. It may be more now, but from the guys that I know that have retired in the last 3 to 5 years, all of them, even my operators from Chevron and stuff that I know, all of them make maybe 5,000-6,000 tops. I think one guy made like $6,700 a month. This is the most I've ever heard. All these guys do side hobbies, or they have wives that still work, or that are retired and they've added their retirement together. That's just kind of what to expect if you're watching this video coming straight out of high school. If it's something you want to get into, feel free to ask a question. I've been in all aspects of this stuff, man. I've been over electrical, I've been over iron workers, crane and rigging. I'm a lift director. You know, I've been on the safety side, the quality side. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. So if you have any questions, I'll answer it with an open mind. I encourage everyone to get in the field to learn, experience it, experience the hard work, take it for what it is, learn everything you can, man. When you learn how to make good money with your hands, nobody can stop you. I got a lot of guys that try to start businesses and it fails and they have to go back out in the field. It sucks, but it's nice that these guys can do that. Imagine failing a business and you have nothing. You have nothing to fall back on. But you do when you have a trade. Well, I can go back, work on the road for another year or two, recollect my money, and try again. You know, I mean, that's an option. So there's a lot of good that comes with it. But I've noticed in the last few years, I'm about to be 33 here in February. When I was 28, we had our first child. Everything changed. No more on the road. No more. I didn't want to work. I still work a lot of overtime because I got a lot of bills. But I didn't want all the overtime. I wanted quality time with my family. And that's what I'm shooting for now. I've learned a lot about different incomes and how to do different things. And if God is on my side and I put him first and I continue doing what I'm doing, hopefully in the next 4 to 5 years, my plan will work out and I won't do this anymore. It's a blessing, but it's a curse at the same time. So what else have I been asked? What is traveling like? I kind of answered some of that. Traveling is not what you would think it would be. If you like to drive and travel, then great. There's been a few times, like I've been to Vegas in California, was super beautiful, super fun. What else? Colorado's beautiful, the mountains. Florida's beautiful if you get down like Tampa. I worked in the Arcadia area. I worked in Daytona. Fernandina Beach, Florida. It's beautiful out there, very family-friendly area. Texas, obviously. San Antonio. There's just a lot of different places in Texas. I worked in Deer Park, Texas. I've worked all up and down Louisiana. No offense to Louisiana, folks. I hate Louisiana. As far as working goes, man, working in Louisiana sucks. Saw chemical refinery plants and stuff like that, and the traffic is ridiculous. That's where a lot of the work for us Southern folks are at, is in Louisiana, and you can be 7 minutes from your hotel, but take 2 hours to get home every day because the traffic is so ridiculous. You're working out there on plants like Port Sulphur right now with 3, 4, 5,000 people, and it is ridiculous. Such a long walk to get anywhere, and it just sucks. And so there's a lot of pros and cons to it, but when you're traveling, the scenery is beautiful. I like traveling on the road whenever like there's nice scenery. When you're going through the countryside, I'm a big mountains guy. So like working in, I worked in, Mooresville, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina. I've worked in Pennington, Anderson, Goose Creek, Huger, South Carolina, Bruton, North Carolina, like all through the Carolinas, man. And there's some beautiful Looking Glass Falls. If you've never been there, Tail of the Dragon. There's just a lot of beautiful places, like especially Asheville and Mooresville. Beautiful mountains out there to check out. So, and then obviously, you know, a lot of your big cities like Savannah, Georgia is beautiful. I like the city out there. I like the city in Vegas. Rancho Santa Margarita, which is literally a place in California. You can go and check out that. Go to Los Angeles. Santa Monica Pier. They're just, you see a lot. I mean, if you're not working all the time. Normally what I would do is, when I went on the job, I was always working a crap ton of hours, unless it was like new construction, I got lucky or something. So what I would do is, in between jobs, I'd always request off, and I would stay like 3 to 5 days, maybe a week after I got done with that job. Normally you got a good, pretty good money stacked up, right? So we would take that and, you know, pretty much make a vacation out of it. Me and friends, or me, I go by myself, you know, and go see the sights, man. Go tour the local cities, drive 2-3 hours. You have nothing better to do. You're off a week, whatever. I even worked in Michigan and Wisconsin. I worked in Marinette, Wisconsin. I actually worked at the Marinette Marine up there. It's a shipyard. Lake Michigan's beautiful. You go through like all the way to Detroit, Michigan, all through Michigan. Wisconsin's got a lot of nice places. I can't think of all that stuff off the top of my head, but yeah. So traveling has its perks if you take advantage of it. If you're just going up there working and going home, it sucks. Man, all you literally see is the job site, Walmart or a grocery store, and your hotel room. Now, if you're one of those young kids that can party until the sun goes up and goes back down, then yeah, them guys, y'all go to work, get off, go to every bar, go downtown, bring girls home. I'm not about all that stuff, but a lot of my friends used to do that, and that was their thing, and they loved it, and they said, man, you got to go here and check this out. Bro, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. So I didn't get out much. If I was working, that's all I was doing. If I was doing anything else, it was going to the gym. So I hope that answers like all your questions. If you have any more questions, guys, feel free to comment below. Again, this is just my perspective on it. Like I said, I think the moral of the story is that the blue collar world is a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's all about the perspective, all about how you take it. Just like with anything else, if you take advantage of it, you learn what you need to learn and apply it somewhere else. Invest in yourself and make a retirement plan for yourself with it. A lot of these guys that learn these skills and trades, they start their own businesses and go their own avenues with it, and I'm very proud of those guys. If you're, you know, I don't understand why you would work 8, 10, 12 hours a day to make someone else rich and not go home and focus on making yourself rich. And I'm going to leave it at that. So I love you guys. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Again, always try to subscribe to the people that subscribe to me. If you've been subscribed to me and I haven't subscribed to you yet, comment below. Let me know that you're subscribed to me so I can subscribe back to you. And hey, y'all, I'm going to leave here, go to the gym. I hope everybody catches a good lift, has a good, blessed day, and enjoys their weekend. Today is Friday. So I do love you guys. Y'all be safe, and Happy New Year's, right? I'm a little late, but Happy New Year's. I'll see y'all. Love and peace.